Hello, greetings, happy Pride. I was just in the Albuquerque Pride Parade representing my publisher, Hercules Publishing, and it was really a lot of fun. What is Hercules Publishing doing this weekend? Celebrating the Route 66 Poetry Festival, so it's still going on. The grand thing is going to be tonight. And anyway, I'm taking a little break to celebrate some poetry. The poetry of Ada Limón. What does she have to do with pride? Well, maybe nothing. I don't know if she is LGBTQ or straight. I have no clue. But I just picked Ada Limón because I'm doing women poets lately. And I thought she is the current Poet Laureate of the United States since 2022. So why not give her poetry a shot? I hadn't read any. So I read some, and at first I wasn't all that impressed, to be honest. But then as I sat and digested some of her poems, they kept coming back to me, and I kept thinking about them more and more. There was one in particular that kept coming back to me, and as I pondered it more and more, its depth and its layers were revealed to me. So I encourage you to think about these poems after you read them or after you listen to them for a while, and revisit them, because it took me a while to get all the layers of them. And then I started to think, this lady really is a genius, and there's a reason she's the Poet Laureate. So I'm going to go ahead and read a poem by her called Wife. I'm not yet comfortable with the word. It's short, clean whoosh that sounds like life. At dinner last night, my singer girl said in admonition, "It's not wife approved," about a friend's upcoming trip. Their eyes roll up and out of their pretty young heads. Wife, why does it sound like a job? I need a wife, the famous feminist wrote. A wife that will keep my clothes clean, ironed, mended, replaced if need be. A word that could be made easily into maid. A wife that does, fixes, soothes, honors, obeys. Housewife, fishwife, bad wife, good wife. What's the word for someone who stares long into the morning? Unable to even fix tea some days. The kettle steaming over loud like a train whistle. She who cries in the morning. She who tears a hole in the earth and cannot stop grieving. The one who wants to love you, but often isn't even good at that. The one who doesn't want to be diminished by how much she wants to be yours. This next poem is called The Raincoat. When the doctor suggested surgery and a brace for me all my younger years, my parents scrambled to take me to massage therapy, deep tissue work, osteopathy, and soon my crooked spine unspooled a little bit. I could breathe again and move more in a body unclouded by pain. My mom would tell me to sing songs to her the whole 45-minute drive to Middle Two Rock Road and 45-minute back from physical therapy. She'd say that even my voice sounded unfettered by my spine afterward. So I sang and sang because I thought she liked it. I never asked her what she gave up to drive me, or how her day was before the chore. Today, at her age, I was driving myself home from yet another spine appointment, singing along to some maudlin but solid song on the radio, and I saw a mom take her raincoat off and give it to her young daughter when a storm took over the afternoon. My God, I thought, my whole life I've been under her raincoat, thinking it was somehow a marvel that I never got wet. This one is supposedly her most famous one, according to Google, called Instructions on Not Giving Up. More than the fuchsia funnels breaking out of the crabapple tree, more than the neighbors' almost obscene display of cherry limbs shoving their cotton candy-colored blossoms to the slate sky of spring's rain, it's the greening of the tree that really gets to me. when all the shock of white and taffy, the world's baubles and trinkets leave the pavement strewn with the confetti of the aftermath, the leaves come, patient, plodding, a green skin growing over whatever winter did to us, a return to the strange idea of continuous living despite the mess of us, the hurt, the empty. Fine then, I'll take it, the tree seems to say, a new slick leaf unfurling like a fist to an open palm. I'll take it all. This was the one that got me thinking. Calling things what they are. I pass the feeder and yell, "Grackle party!" And then an hour later I yell, "Morning dove after party!" I call the feeder the party and the seed on the ground the after party. I'm getting so good at watching that I've even dug out the binoculars an old poet gave me back when I was young and heading to the Cape with so much future ahead of me. It was like my own ocean. "Tufted titmouse," I yell, and Lucas laughs and says, "Thought so." But he is humoring me. He didn't think so at all. My father does the same thing. Shouts out at the feeder announcing the party attendees. He throws out a whole peanut or two to the Stellar's jay, who visits on a low branch in the morning. To think there was a time I thought birds were kind of boring. Brown bird, gray bird, black bird, blah, blah, blah bird. Then I started to learn their names by the ocean, and the person I was dating said, "That's the problem with you, Limón. You're all fauna and no flora." And I began to learn the name of trees. I like to call things what they are. Before, the only thing I was interested in was love, how it grips you, how it terrifies you, how it annihilates and resuscitates you. I didn't know then that it wasn't even love I was interested in, but my own suffering. I thought suffering kept things interesting. How funny that I called it love, and the whole time it was pain. This one is called Death of a Raven. When the 10-speed lightweight bicycle broke down off the highway lined thick with orange trees, I noticed a giant raven's head protruding from the waxy leaves. The bird was stuck somehow, mangled in the branches, crying out. Wide-eyed, I held the bird's face close to mine, beak to nose, dark brown iris to dark brown iris, feather to feather. This was not the Chihuahuan raven, or the fan-tailed raven, or the common raven. Nothing was common about the way we stared at one another, while a stranger untangled the bird's claws from the tree's limb, and he, finally free, became a naked child swinging in the wind. This next one is the contract says we'd like the conversation to be bilingual. When you come, bring your brownness so we can be sure to please the funders. Will you check this box? We're applying for a grant. Do you have any poems that speak to troubled teens? Bilingual is best. Would you like to come to the dinner with the patrons and sip Patron? Will you tell us the stories that make us uncomfortable but not complicit? Don't read the one where you are just like us, born to a greenhouse garden. Don't tell us how you picked tomatoes and ate them in the dirt, watching vultures pick apart another bird's bones in the road. Tell us the one about your father stealing hubcaps after a colleague said that's what his kind did. Tell us how he came to the meeting wearing a poncho and tried to sell the man his hubcaps back. Don't mention your father was a teacher, spoke English, loved making beer, loved baseball. Tell us again about the poncho, the hubcaps, how he stole them, how he did the thing he was trying to prove he didn't do. This last one I'm going to read is called Miracle Fish. I used to pretend to believe in God. Mainly, I like to talk to someone in the dark. Think of how far a voice must have to travel to go beyond the universe. How powerful that voice must have to be to get there. Once, in a small chapel in Chimayo, New Mexico, I knelt in the dirt because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. That was before I learned to harness that upward motion inside me, before I nested my head in the blood of my body. There was a sign, and it said, "This earth is blessed. Do not play in it." But I swear I will play on this blessed earth until I die. I relied on a miracle fish once in New York City to tell my fortune. That was before I knew it was my body's water that moved it, that the massive ocean inside me was what made the fish swim. Thank you for being here with me, Poetry family. It's been a lot of fun. Bye.